basically investing in the Caribbean and the whole trying to get Caribbean people here to invest and take a stand. But we had issues, of course. Well, I don't know if you have contacts in Barbados, but
Yeah, yeah, we have a few people in Barbados as well. But
yeah.
one guy is coming from Barbados to the conference. Yeah, so that's Steve Reed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's coming to the conference as a rapporteur and also the helper with a panel and so on. Yeah,
Okay. I wanted
yeah.
to introduce you, and so another brother picked up Igbo Chief Marlon Regales. He's a military veteran in Curacao, and he was crowned an Igbo chief in Ghana when he visited as an Igbo chief in Ghana, and he was crowned to basically organize Curacao, and he has connections to Cuba, and they're planning a conference thing next year. And brother Marlon, this is a Paramount Chief Aquila. She's from Trinidad. She's a Maroon. They have villages from, and they're descended from people from USA. They have their own villages, and they're organizing villages across the Caribbean. So it's like the best network for organizing in the Caribbean. Uh, so that's why we're trying to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. Good evening. For me, it's an evening because I'm in Bosnia now.
Yes, yes,
As
yes.
It's
Mhm.
30 years ago, and 30 years ago, I went to Srebrenica and in
Mhm.
the United Nations Protective Forces as military.
Uh-huh.
And when we go back to Netherlands, they kill 8,000 of the Muslim men and boys in Srebrenica. So after 30 years, I decided to come to go to the funeral where the monument of them
Uh-huh.
and honor them because I say we don't forget them. You never
Exactly.
forget what's happened because I'm busy with the things of slavery too. And
Mhm.
you think about what real means memorize people. And I'm busy to experience that now. And I was just
Mhm.
go in the hotel room and I see the telephone ringing. I must
Right.
do a lot of things now to prepare myself, but we are busy. I went to Netherlands. In Netherlands, they have a lot of Igbos in the city,
Okay.
in the
Mhm.
capital Amsterdam. They got
Right.
like a Igbo village, and so we're gonna make contact with them. We're gonna prepare something for them. So we get contact. I'm looking contact with the Igbo people in Germany too. They are a lot. They
Okay.
have every
Mhm.
year festivals of the Igbos. They meet each other every month. They are very, very good busy.
Mm.
So we are
Mhm.
based with the people. If they don't, so some people, some groups need to see examples. When they
Exactly.
see other people do things, they're gonna do things they do. We cannot
Yes.
start hoping that
Yes.
everybody gonna run fast. So I say the people who can fly, fly. If you can run, run. And the people just work. Let them work. And when they see that they put some more force, they can fly too. Then they're gonna do those things. But they need to see example. What's happened with the black people is not just there is 400 years slavery, and they are really they love those people. They wanna like be a white man of a white woman, and because they don't believe in an oath image, nothing. So it is not easy, but we are doing our best and save everybody when we can save, and help them to be free.
Mm.
Asha.
Okay.
Asha.
And
One
that
thing.
is what we need to do because Africa is not example too. Because in Curacao they tell you all right, you want that we gonna be like Africa. You want because they think Africa is elephants and tigers and lions, crocodiles, and
Yeah.
they don't believe in Africa. And now I'm busy to let them see about Africa. But they say, but yeah, they are killing each other. So
Exactly.
there's a lot of job, a lot of work to do. They must see example of Africa countries, Africa people who are doing it well, so they can see and see that too. They must know a lot. We must teach them a lot about history. So we had a lot job to do. Yeah, now we are busy. We are busy here.
Yeah, I one thing that makes this easier, I'm gonna start trying to bring more USA support in. But if we, I've been posting it a lot that the Dutch Caribbean, the French Caribbean, and the British Caribbean, and French Caribbean is Haiti. That's 11 million people. If we get their support, Curacao, we have good rapport with the Dutch Caribbean headquarters. And now, if we do the British Caribbean, that has a lot of islands that are sometimes it's hard to coordinate. But if we go with Trinidad and the Americans, we could drive people into the region, and I think we could start getting the government support to start basing, leadership in the villages and start to move away from the politics. But it's going to be hard. But I've been pushing Trinidad in my mind as a headquarters, um, just because of the festival and the organizing that's being done. And but that's still the American or the Maroons history. I guess it leaves out Barbados as far as I don't know. But I've been trying to reach out to people in Barbados for a long time, and they don't have any sort of institution where I could leverage them to come to. I've settled on the Baptist churches maybe, but at the same time, I'm just looking for where I could drive people into the Caribbean and who would be reliable to network without politics. And Barbados has been a big island that really haven't had a lot of cooperation. I got a new contact there with the churches, but I feel it's just always going to be politics unless we start going to a headquarters like Trinidad and saying everybody who's serious report to this headquarters. Let's organize instead of chasing every island. Just point out a headquarters and anybody who's serious meet there, and we start meeting in person. But that's what we're working on. We have to
Okay.
start moving to
It's
meet in person.
it's a lot of work to be done on the ground still, and two things I know, two areas I know I want to be kind of mindful of and shy away from: the politics and the religion.
Hmm.
And with that said, we have to now look at the civil society groups, the non-governmental organizations, and see, what movement it's working well,
Hmm.
right? And with that, we can then share what our ideology is, what our mission is, and see how others will come on board. A
Hmm.
nice way, as the brother said, is examples. Looking at examples and sharing it, finding ways how we can find some kind of platform where we can show models that are working well. And so
Hmm.
those who behind, at least they can catch up and say, well, okay, yes, they can do better. And those
Hmm.
who are doing well can feel appreciated by us
Hmm.
using them as examples.
Hmm.
So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do,
Hmm.
especially around the
Yeah.
education system, and we have to figure out how we gonna get in there. And I think a nice way is to find the institutions
Hmm.
that deal with culture, creative studies, Caribbean history.
Hmm.
Get those lecturers and professors and so on to come on board so they'll have the right information to share. And then we could start, breaking the ice. But it's still a lot of work when you talk about liberating, collective liberation.
Hmm.
It's a lot of work, but we got to do it, and we are doing it. So
But
it
Paramount
won't
Chief, this,
stop.
this is what I was talking. I was really ranting today to people about why things haven't moved. The church, it's religion, but also the schools, the universities. They don't want to teach African history because I think it contradicts what they're teaching. Because, for example, like where well, let's say just in Africa, everything they had their own grading system. You know, we've heard of the Kemetic Egyptian schools, but you also know Orisha. Those Orisha, you have grade systems and ways that you get initiated and how long you have to take. So, but the grade system of any civilization is based on your environment and what you need to do. So, if it's
Mhm.
maybe you have to do nuclear physics, or you have to teach plumbing, or you have to teach how to pray to this wood and this. You have to do something things on your based on your environment. It's not that you go to Oxford and you learn how they're teaching in London, and then you say K through 12 in university. Maybe the university has to be, you know, rebaptized Obatala University, and you have to learn how to do, you know, uh, water-based sciences and things to develop the country. But people don't want to examine that, and a lot of people in university aren't even taught about African education or system and people or sociology or anything like that. They don't even know how to organize Black people. They don't study it, so they just get specialized skills and degrees, and then they have to leave to USA to even make money. So I don't know. What the university hasn't been helping even do basic things. The people with university connections. I was invited to something with a UWI speaker, but I turned it down recently. But I don't know. I don't know.
Where was that being held? What it was about?
It was brother Philip Springer. It was the African Development Diaspora Development Institute, led by
Mhm.
Dr. Ericana from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, an Africana. Yeah, Africana. Yeah.
Yeah, but I turned it down because I thought it would be too messy. There was a political party involved. There was a
Mm.
lot. It was a lot involved.
Okay.
Different kingdoms in
Okay.
Africa, but they have a Zimbabwe House of Chiefs where if they wanted to pass something at the village level, it was spread out. I mean, these governments and people overseas, they have a way to propagandize things. Maybe I should have attended, but I didn't want politics and the university to be the center of things that needed to be done, because I know a university gets into lectures and studying things, and then sometimes things never ever move. So I'm looking at Trinidad as the headquarters for the British Caribbean. There's more contacts in Jamaica that I found out about, and I'm just going to move to the USA and maybe the Bahamas, talking to them. I think I had Haitians in the call, but we're just going to move forward with only a few headquarters and getting people in the USA to start making contact. Because when people in the USA look overseas, you know, Africa is confusing, the Caribbean's confusing, and then when people don't have the same intentions, you know, there's just it's easy for people over here to get put off and go back to the regular lives, and then just lose momentum. But I think this
But
is.
what I think we need is a clear vision, and
Mhm,
if you can put that out,
mhm,
and even if you want to do a little statement that we can share at the conference. The theme of our conference is envisioning a connected Maroon diaspora and a
mhm,
reparative future. And this goes wide because we have different topics that we want to look at, which also include the main thing is uniting Maroons of the diaspora,
uh-huh,
trying to bring them together. And because the big thing is unity, a lot of us are not united, and it's just about
mhm,
competing and competing,
mhm,
and we're not going anywhere with
mhm,
this.
mhm,
So we got to unite for a common good and a common cause, and look at good examples, look at models that are working well. When we talk land security, land ownership, food security, and food sovereignty, you can't talk food sovereignty and you don't have land,
mhm,
right? So this is very, very important. We need owning class black people in the Americas now. We need them to be owning land.
mhm,
And when you own your land, then you can afford to,
mhm,
plant your food and put up your centers and build your shrines and have your headquarters and so on. And then you move on from there and
mhm,
share that example. So each country should have a parcel of land where we can have reservation sites or headquarters and stuff. So when
Mm-hmm.
our people come to these countries, we have a base, right? And create libraries and museums and try to really set apart and that
Mm-hmm.
pathway now can be the model that others can emulate, and we look for resources. Each country should have a museum, a
Mm-hmm.
headquarter, right?
Should I? So you
So,
want? I'm going to write a letter, but as you're talking about stuff, models, Haiti actually has. I think it's a language barrier, but they have those things like they call their shrines peristyles, and they call the
mm-hmm,
traditional peristyles. It's part of their government. They have called it a voodoo sector. They have laws to recognize and incorporate it. It's still discriminated against or not known, but they have shrines for training people, and they have land ownership, and there's a lot as you would imagine. But I had questions of who's attending. Is Colombia attending? Because
no,
oh,
we didn't get the money directly to bring someone from Colombia, but we have 7 people from Brazil.
hmm
CONAC, that is representing CONAC, which is connected to Panama and Colombia and Cuba and Brazil and so on. So
yeah,
I'm still waiting for when they come in to at least, because I know some of them have connections in Colombia as well. Might have roots
I've
in
read.
Colombia.
I've read they've got
Yeah.
there people are Colombia. There's the illicit drug trade and people are getting robbed for land, but they have counts. They have government's recognition in several areas in land, but it's still a struggle to keep the land and there's violence going on. But there's a lot of these countries that are more developed, I think, as far as recognition and land ownership. So where that's why I wanted to focus inside the Caribbean where it's not as developed. But
Mm-hmm.
Colombia is well organized. The problem of them is they don't speak English.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
They are well organized. I had contact with them. They are part of the government of Colombia
Choco,
because
yeah,
even the vice president of Colombia is a black woman.
she's a maroon. They
Okay.
call it the Palenque.
Okay.
So they are very well in Venezuela. They got a minister in charge with African descendants. They organize
Mm-hmm.
things. So things are moving. Don't believe that
Yes, yes,
they say
yes, yes.
people are doing things. The thing is, they don't speak. Both group don't speak English. I went to Venezuela of a congress about against fascism and
Mm-hmm.
neo-Nazism. There's a lot of African people. We talk a lot. We are in a group and we are talking with each other. So things are happening. The thing is synchronize everything, but maybe some people are not interested to organize, or because one is too rough, the other is too weak, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We are discussing things because not all group are thinking the same. Don't forget that Africa is 2,000 tribes. You
Mm-hmm.
can, it is very difficult. And people, if you don't know about the tribes, I'm Igbo. I know a Yoruba guy in Curacao. He came from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
We try to do our best, but the guy is always trying to do a competition with me.
Oh
He come to help me, but you see the Yoruba thing in him. So he
no, it's
don't gonna do it. He do
Africa.
he
The,
don't
the thing with Africa, the 2,000 tribes are all related. So like you could make it a big supercontinent. That's where the politics
they,
comes into play.
no, they have big problem with each other. Believe me.
Yeah,
Look Nigeria now.
yeah,
Just look Nigeria. They are busy preparing a civil war.
no, I know.
Nigeria.
Not the thing is, I'm from there. It's not going to be civil war. The thing is, like it's certain, like there's giant families across Africa, giant tribes where you see what's going on in the Sahel. They're starting to split back into their original empires, and everybody's fighting over which territory they're going to have. Or so, for example, let me say it like this: in West Africa, there's the Mali Empire. You have the Oduduwa Empire. Oduduwa is a god in Yoruba, but it's really Ashanti in the Akan, the Ewe, the Yoruba, the Dahomey. They're all related, but African culture is more like martial arts, like karate, kung fu. Your village is your kingdom is your like martial arts training center, and you compete with everybody around. So even the Yoruba kingdoms, they were fighting each other, and to this day,
Yeah, but
a lot of, so
they are using
mhm,
the white people are using the thing because they say I'm gonna support one so that those they gonna fight, and I'm gonna push them fight. But that those things happen with the white people too.
yeah,
So
but
what about that? We are in the disadvantage because about the slavery or what looking happened in Ukraine. It's the same thing.
mhm,
But the thing is, we must just keep doing our best, looking for strategy, how to convince people to work
mhm,
together because everybody got his own
mhm,
agenda too. You
mhm,
see, we want to put the people together. Yeah, no,
yeah,
but the one guy think, hey, there's a power to
uh,
make business. They are
you,
all,
yeah.
they don't go no meeting. They just ask how many people you are so we can do business.
Oh
Things like that. They don't
no,
push not. They don't put any energy into get the people together. But when you get the people together, they come and say, I'm selling this, I'm selling that. We can support me because I'm a black man. Don't buy things to the white man, buy things to black man. But they are thinking about them.
yeah.
They are using the infrastructure that you are building to do business to make them rich. They don't are interesting to do education information for our own people.
Mm,
But I know that the things gonna happen, and I know about a lot of projects. What piece by piece, black people are coming together and they're gonna produce more.
Yeah.
greetings.
Um,
I see Brother Rastafari just entered from Saint
Yeah,
Kitts
great.
and Nevis.
welcome, brother.
We have the Paramount Chief of the Maroons in Trinidad. She's organizing a big conference this basically in a month, and we have the Paramount Chief of the Igbos in Curacao. So I was just saying we have a Dutch Caribbean headquarters that's reliable, and we have a British Caribbean headquarters that's reliable. And you have the Nyabingi Royal Drum Network. I seen he has the UNESCO slave. St. Kitts has a UN recognized organization, or United UNESCO, the cultural organization. They have some influence with the United Nations over there in St. Kitts, and they do this. So I was thinking that maybe it could connect with the Maroons. It's a slave trade of a voyage network, research network, and they brought Muda Baruka from Jamaica, so they have a Jamaica connection too. I was thinking the Maroons and that network in St. Kitts and St. Lucia could combine, and they also have Maroon history and heritage, where they could force the United Nations hand to start promoting that. So that's what I was thinking. Besides investment and putting things in a digital format and start to move programs, financial and educational at the same. So, but we're trying to do multiple things at once. But yeah, but that's a big connection, and that was the base of the British Caribbean. And I did get a church. The churches, I think, could eventually become education centers for African religion and culture, and what we need to do in various wherever you're located. You have to tailor the education to do that. But I had to. I don't know. Barbados is 400 years of slavery is tough. That's a big island, but I got Bahamas a connection. Um, if I just get people in the USA to start coming on board, which I'm working on, and that'll be like one of the next calls. They'll start to. the governments will start to come on board and restart structure around what we want to do. But it's a lot of resistance, even in the groups. So I'm just gonna stop removing people because they brought their agendas. uh,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's a lot. Even there's people. There's one guy in Jamaica. Uh, I don't know. It's a lot of people. It's a small circle. So when you start seeing countries getting invaded and Haiti being attacked, there's a lot of sometimes the Pan Africanists who have connections to what's going on and they don't listen. They don't want to. Haiti is just a giant maroon village island. So all the people promoting politics, not promoting the villages organized. That's why Haiti's getting attacked every 10 years because nobody wants to organize with the Maroons or make that the basis of organizing the Caribbean. So that's the big conspiracy. So but everybody has an African lecture at a university, but when it comes to the grassroots organizing, they disappear. So
Brothers and sisters, I need to leave because I'm busy now and I must prepare a lot for tomorrow.
uh
And I must go to my wife and child.
okay,
They are there in Netherlands now.
all right,
Okay. Have a nice night.
all right,
Bye.
all right. Good
Oh,
night,
thank you.
brother Yasan. With the media, I think we can concentrate if we wanted to or agreed to. We could concentrate like a media program in St. Kitts and Nevis. I know you have an office there and a media program, 2020 Vision Radio. Maybe if we could start driving people to a centralized media. That's just an idea. I don't know. But one of my and then we start like we want to have like we could try the idea of the financial stock market classes. I can make a call or start making calls to see. But we'd have to have classes of people who get educated, and we could do it the old school way, where maybe the children learn, and then they go home and teach the parents, and start to build finance amongst the membership and the community. But I think that's we're at that point where we can start looking at financial education, cultural education. But the chief in Trinidad wanted me to write a paper or a statement that they're going to present. So that was about it. It was a short call.
Thank you, brother.
hmm
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So what do you think? Would you want to move on any of those ideas, or, or would you be able to? Or for example, a class of people or promoting something on radio.
Yeah, that can be done. Point on that. Like I was telling you, physically on the ground to actually have something like in a classroom setting, I'm not so certain how that would play out, but I think maybe like a Zoom option or something that they're doing like online. I think you might have a better chance of tapping into a lot more people like that. Um, at least I'm speaking at least for St. Kitts and Nevis in regards to how I see things happen on the ground there. Um, a lot more people are more into online versus physically having like a town hall meeting or a physical gathering, like that. Everybody's time is all tied up, two
That's
jobs, three jobs,
damn.
and things like that.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
it's
was
easier
planning. But
for
once you get
to set up.
once you get one island, it's like sometimes it becomes a healthy competition where the other islands want to participate. Then maybe there's the southern.
No, but
A lot of people
but,
want to start
but, but what
participating.
what could happen is even though we start with St. Kitts and Nevis,
Mhm.
Even if it's online, then you could eventually have other people from different territories joining, because then that's the thing with online. Then you're not limited just to a specific geographic location. If the class is open and it's online, then you could have people from St. Kitts and Nevis, you could have people from Jamaica, you could have people from Grenada, St. Lucia,
Mhm.
wherever.
And that
We
then it
just
would
would have to
my
we would
just
just have to plan it. We
mhm.
just have to plan it and have the time. So then whatever we post ahead of time, let's say we're gonna start next month or the next 2 months, you put the post out, this is what's gonna happen, you start taking people in for registration, or so that at least you would have an idea of how many persons are interested and would be engaged in the activity. And then is when you have that individual who is going to conduct the course lined up for it. And then you set the time, everybody should be logging in at 9 o'clock every Wednesday, or whatever time it is that you set. I'm just using the time span. But and then you work from there. The course, whether it's a 6 weeks course or 9 weeks course or whatever the course outline might be, or however long it's going to take, we set it. And then those for if everybody didn't get in on this on that opportunity, then there might be another opportunity. So then they get set for the next one. And those who are a part of the first one more than likely would want to be able to encourage others to get on board, and we move like that. But use the same opportunity at the same time, even though you're going to be teaching the economics, to at the same time find a 10 or 15 minutes in there to speak about the UNIA and the Gavi and whatever other things. So you incorporate it. So it's like it's beneficial. You're gonna gain finance at the end of it, but it's also utilized to kind of show you where and why you need the finance.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
it's to empower you on the mission.
Yeah,
And
my
so,
my comment is just to it's an old African thing, but you pair up. So I think you could help lead that, but it would be paired up with the Maroons in Trinidad, and that'd be the headquarters. Because Haiti, we talk about the Dutch Caribbean, British Caribbean. That's really just Haiti and, for the most part, Haiti and Curacao as far as population and organizing. There's just two countries that could. We just need the British Caribbean to be really coordinated, and so we said let's coordinate with the Queen and Trinidad, in southern Trinidad, I believe, and we'll start to gain momentum because it won't be 10 different islands competing or 10 different headquarters, and so that will make us gain steam because we lose steam when we start going island to island and checking for people. If we have a headquarters, the serious people could just check in at one point and it'll gain momentum. So I think that's a go. I can start making calls for Zoom education online, maybe stocks, and people can go from there to other ideas. I know there's things like travels and having your own passports. I know some people do that in Jamaica still, but that's an old the Marcus Garvey thing, the Caribbean travel, having our own passports regardless of the colonizer, and using
Mm-hmm.
that. So that's a thing. And I have a call on. I didn't put it in a group, but I have a call on Saturday with people in USA, and there is a lot of UNIA groups in USA, but they don't check in the Caribbean because of, like I said, the politics. So we have momentum, but in the across the Caribbean, so they'll start going faster. I know you got to go, Queen, Aquila, but we're starting to have momentum. I'm just trying to see if we get extra momentum. Reach,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, I reach out. But the thing is, with the government, like Emancipation Support Committee, and they even said they copied a village all the way in Barbados, a Maroon village, Colombo. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't invite any Maroons. So, but the thing is, if I think we're going to leverage our support in Africa and the USA to start focusing on this headquarters, the Maruga village, and even Salaka. So we're gonna start giving the attention, and the government will have to basically restructure itself around what we're doing. I think so. That's what we're gonna do. So, yep, I'm gonna talk to you, brother Yasan, about private because I know the sister's busy with plans, a festival. So, yeah, we'll move forward. But
Sure.
there's nothing more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, brother.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you.